What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? It's your pal, Jacob, from Who the Fuck Closed Last Night. Notice I didn't call you closers like Chad and Ben did. That's because I want to highlight our openers. Because without you, who would we have before the closing shift to work an entire day without filling the ice bins, without bussing a single table, or without even getting us a bank for you opening managers for the bar drawer? We really couldn't do it without you. And we wouldn't have anyone to come in after a long night of closing and ask, who the fuck closed last night? In this episode, me and Chad, we get a little serious. I also wanted to point out the fact that we really recorded these episodes a few months before this release date, so things have changed for us since then. And that's really the topic of the episode. Service industry changes and shifts a lot. I'm sure all of you in the industry really understand. You're not necessarily getting a job and staying there for your entire career. In fact, it's quite the opposite, and we're going to dive into that a bit. I also cannot remember, for the life of me, if we remembered to say fuck Chick-fil-A in this episode. We got to stay on top of that. For those of you following the lore, I want you all to go check out Dr. Pepper's 2011 campaign for their product, Dr. Pepper 10. The slogan was, "It's not for women." If you know, you know. It's a real thing. Check it out and enjoy the podcast.
Whose Chick-fil-A is this? Who the fuck closed last night?
Fuck Chick-fil-A.
Fuck Chick-fil-A. How did you?
I'm glad we got that out.
You got that out.
I got that out.
It was a little unrealistic because it was a Sunday brunch, but that's okay. That's all right.
They would have bought the food on Saturday.
You're right. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, we're back for another episode here, and
Right here.
Some things have developed in the for you.
We've got a fresh live experience to share. Once again, I'm Jacob,
and I'm Chad, and this is
Who
the fuck closed last night. Ooh, that was
rehearsed. Yeah, I mean, just jumping right into what's happening with me in my real life right now.
Let's get into it. Yeah,
I had the experience last weekend of learning that my restaurant is going to be closing.
Yeah.
For good, not just closing at the end of a night.
Right.
My particular instance, I happened to have a Friday off that I took off to go to a show, and I got an email and I got some texts from some coworkers that are friends, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, here in like 2 months, we're gonna be closing," which is sad because I really enjoy my job. I know we've talked a little bit about enjoying our jobs and our careers as a whole, but my restaurant's really hit a stride recently. Mm-hmm. My team is awesome. We've been getting like good reviews. We've been having people coming in just because they're like, "Hey, you know, we saw you you're like one of the top rated on the open table reservations in your part of town," that sort of thing. And we've just been really we had like a front of house team meeting about like how we can dial in our skills. Well, I'm not gonna stuff like that. It's just I've been having a particularly good time and a particularly well balanced work life. And,
right. You were really close with all your coworkers too. Like you guys seem like people always use that family thing, but you guys really.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have been friends that I've met over time that I've like helped get jobs there. A lot of them are just like people that I've, like one of my coworkers, I ended up like going to a music festival with him earlier this summer. Like it's just been a good, I mean, I started there about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. That first weekend that they opened is when I just happened to be looking for a job. And been there. It's been, like I said, hitting that stride a couple weeks ago. If you had asked me, I would have been like, "Oh yeah." I've always kind of hopped restaurants a lot and things like that, and I've been like, "Oh, I'm in my 30s now. I'm getting ready to settle into life, start making some more long-term plans."
Sure.
And I was like, I'm gonna have this job. I know kind of how my schedule works. Everyone around me, like everyone's work schedule was right what they wanted, that sort of thing. And yeah, it's like I said, just been going really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got the announcement, and it's been a little somber.
Yeah, I would say
At
so.
work, everyone's been, obviously, we're still open for, I guess it's 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What man.
yeah.
Did they give when they gave that announcement? Did they give like reasons? Did they give like specifics when they were talking to you about that, or was it just a hey guys, we're closing?
Yeah, I mean, for our particular instance, like I wasn't at the initial meeting, but there was an email, and then I talked to my manager the next week, or the next day, excuse me, and because this is literally fresh. This is like 3 or 4 days ago for me.
Yeah.
At this point, and the company, it's a restaurant group.
Right. Right.
So, for anyone that's not familiar with kind of the different types of structures, obviously you could have like a mom and pop place, would just be like if you, me, and Ben opened up a restaurant and owned it.
Right. Yeah.
We're the HR, we're the accountants, we're the everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
You have huge restaurant chains, which are substantially larger. Sometimes they're franchises, sometimes they're all corporate owned.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like restaurant groups, which typically have like an initial restaurant that they open, and then they open up other concepts.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the case of the company I'm with right now. They own like 10 restaurants or something like that.
Sure.
And basically, we've all discussed a lot. There's been a lot of speculation. We haven't really gotten any. They don't owe us that information, right? As far as anything legal or anything. I'm actually in a very fortunate scenario because a lot of times you hear. I mean, they had a couple other restaurants, like a cocktail bar that I worked in that closed earlier this year.
Yeah.
And it was like on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, they were like, hey, this Saturday is the last day of our service.
Yeah.
As in, like, everyone that worked there was like, oh, in 5 days I
will not have a job.
Be unemployed. Exactly.
Right.
And that is, from what I've seen over time, way more typical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've even heard of places that, like, day of, like, you could be, hey, I have a shift at 3,
Yeah.
and at 2:30, maybe 1 if you're lucky, you get an email or call. It's like, hey, don't come in tonight. The restaurant is no longer in operation.
Yep.
Or even you roll up and there's a note on the back door.
And
it's locked up.
I've seen that. When I was beer repping in Dallas, there were 2 accounts that I had where I was told to go try to figure out how to get in the building because they closed without notice. And both times I ran into employees that were like, "Yeah, I showed up for work," and this was like a manager. Showed up for work today, and there was just a sign on the door that said, we're closed, and I found out I did not have a job
In
today.
real time.
In real time, yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, from what I've gathered, some companies operate with that policy. They're like, well, we don't want anyone to steal anything, Kitchen worker finds out he doesn't have a job this week, he's going to take one of the good steaks home and stuff.
Right.
Which,
Or they're not going to show up.
Yeah.
Is what the
Yeah,
excuse
they're
is.
gonna
Like,
go,
well, if
yeah.
we tell them, they just won't come.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's obviously a big, risk. I mean, for instance, one thing with my restaurant, they went ahead and they actually, like, fired one of the floor managers or laid her off immediately. I don't know what the right term would be. They were like, we have 2 months, but your last day is today.
Wow.
That, I guess maybe that benefited them, not paying her salary for the next 2 months or whatever. Yeah, they let the host team go, so we're just a restaurant operating
without a host.
A host team. They're doing things like they're taking some of the they're already like dwindling down the menu. They're basically just like, in a certain way, it's kind of them. Because they're like, hey, we're going to stay open. The only people that are going to benefit at this point are the people that are making, like myself, like I get 2 more months of tips and paychecks.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's bittersweet because we're like, oh man, this is as good as it could go.
Right. Yeah.
And
at least we have notice and time to get.
yeah, and I know last time we talked a little bit about, kind of the unique flow of this industry as far as like, experiencing life on a different schedule. And I mean, I haven't spent much time in other industries, but I imagine there's some lines of work where 2 months is like not a long time at all to find a job.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, two months is like forever.
Right. Exactly.
If you have any sort of resume, 2 months is more than enough time to get your foot in the door, and you might not be at the exact place you want or anything, but you can be on a schedule, trained up, getting tips.
Sure. Yeah.
In a couple weeks, much less a couple months.
Yeah, man. It is. I think because we talked about, it's kind of the theme of this episode is the transient nature of our workforce, which you have like some of that is chosen where it's like we have the opportunity to like, man, if we wanted to go and live in San Diego right now, well, we could just roll out, knock on a few doors, and get a job within like a week or two.
Yeah, take a vacation out there. Extended.
Do 6 months out there and then like move. You could literally do that out of choice.
I mean, if you've got a friend that lives in San Diego, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
If their restaurant is hiring, like a friend in the industry, I should say, like,
oh,
the block they're on probably has enough going on.
Exactly.
So that's kind of a.
And everybody knows somebody and somebody else and stuff, and that's the benefit of that. But the other side of that is that restaurants themselves are always opening and closing, and many times there's things that are difficult to see as an hourly employee that are happening that could be causing that restaurant to be having to shut down.
Yeah.
And it's. I guess that could be scary. I mean, what was your initial emotional feeling of?
I mean, my personal reaction, because I woke up kind of late in the day, and I was going to a show that night. I had my coffee. There were my roommate, there were some friends at my house already, and they were like getting ready to go eat at a restaurant that's right next to my apartment, and I was like, oh, fuck it, I want to get my day started. I went and I was like, I'm going to go have a beer. I mean, I had woken up at like 4 p.m. Okay. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, so I'm like sitting back having the first beer of the day for breakfast or lunch.
The old breakfast
whatever.
beer, baby. Yeah.
It's great. And I saw like a shift get removed from my schedule. I got a notification from my app, and then my buddy Nick texted me. He said, "There's news," and which one? Fuck that.
Yeah, don't just do that.
You say there's bad news, right? I'm calling Nick out directly right now. Don't say there is. Say there's bad news, right? It's gonna.
Yeah, don't just say news in general.
No, I talk shit to him all the time. So if I mention him on the pod, I want to make sure I'm talking shit directly to him. But no, I mean, it was obviously, he was like, dude, gotta let you know. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to see him. Like I immediately, I've been doing this long enough. I was like, oh, we're about to close. That's definitely what's happening. It's the type of thing where like I said, I wouldn't have expected it, but I generally maintain the notion that that's the sort of thing that could happen in my life at any point. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't like surprised. I was, disappointed.
Sure.
And still am disappointed. And, obviously, I think anytime anyone experiences a life change, something like, especially a particularly stable job, you're like, oh, what's going to happen? Am I going to be able to get a job where I can make the same money? Have I taken on bills that I decided as a result of the exact paychecks I've been getting, that sort of thing.
Right.
So I'm a little, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about having to go back to that process, but it's only 2 short years ago that I had been fired from a job and was looking. So this is far more comfortable for me.
Sure.
You know, and I feel a lot of loyalty to my team. So like my unique scenario, I mean, I have an interview tomorrow.
There we go.
That I've already set up at a place that I'm actually really interested in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping that I can be like, hey, I want to ride out these last 7 weeks with the company I'm with. Like,
Sure.
it'll be more of hopefully more of a conversation of like, if you like me in this conversation, are you willing to hold out for 2 months while, you know, do you need someone right now? Like, can I
get trained like
can I get
slowly
trained?
throughout
Can you
that?
put me on a day or two? I'll tell the other restaurant I can't be there for 1 day a week or something, because we're going to close Sundays and Mondays and be open 5 days a week. So,
Right.
I mean, and of course the management team's like, hey, look out for yourself. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
if you get a gig tomorrow and need to stop,
We understand.
just tell us. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's a benefit there because Colorado's an at-will employment state, so there's not really a lot of ups and downs as far as there's no negative. If you technically like walking out of a job, you probably aren't making the best friends with that management team and stuff. But
Right. They're
there's
not
no-
allowed to say anything about that either.
Yeah, there's no sort of ramification, negative thing for you as an individual. It doesn't really reflect on you. You're just like,
You just can't use that person as a reference. Like,
yeah, unless they like you.
yeah, Yeah.
There's so many things.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, just the process of, as far as emotionally, it's we've had a good reason to go out drinking after a few of the shifts
yeah.
out the gate, and of course, we're just all talking. It's definitely the thing that we're talking about.
Sure.
And we're all kind of like a little bit of what I would call the fuckets. Just like, we're kind of we're going down with the ship right now, sort of thing. But it's also, there's all these great professionals. It's a networking opportunity. Now every one of the people I work with, everywhere they go, I now have a new connection at whatever restaurant they're at or whatever they do next in their life. And of course, all the people I've worked for and with are going to be people that I may someone that might help me get a job. I mean, the interview I have tomorrow, there's like 2 guys that used to work at my restaurant that I'm currently at, and they one of them quit, one of them got fired. I'm not sure if I remember. It's been they had left like more than a year ago,
Right.
and they're like both like chefs at this place, and they've both been like involved in opening this new restaurant. And they're like, I hit them up and they're like, dude, we'll tell the guy, like, come in. It's like very, I know a guy that knows a guy,
Right.
kind of thing.
Right.
Which
Absolutely.
is what we've talked about. So
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. You asked me last episode of like similarities I saw in like film and acting and the restaurant industry, and this is actually one where it is like you can be at a place and you become so close to people, but how long you're on that thing is not guaranteed. And even though when you leave that thing, you still feel so very close to those people you worked with because you'd been in the trenches together. And when you run into them again, it's like a reunion. But B, they are more likely to be like, hey man, I'm working on this thing. You want to come work on this with me? It's the same thing with the restaurant industry. It's like, oh man, well look, dude, I've got this new gig and things are going really well. If you want to come over and join this ship, like jump on, man.
yeah, dude. I mean, it's great because we've got anytime. I'm at a loss for words. Yeah, there was a guy that came and worked at the restaurant, Keeney's that I'm at now, and he was a regular that you and I had served.
Yeah.
When I worked with you, and he just like happened to be looking for a job, and he walked in and sat at the bar, and I was like, "Yo, what's up, bro?"
Yeah.
Like you're looking for a job right now? He's like, "Yeah, I'm just like walking around this part of town." I was like, "Dude,
I got you.
Let me talk. Like, let me meet and introduce you to the manager right now. Like,
Yeah.
I've never worked with you, so I won't. I'll literally tell them I've never worked with you, but I know you've been in the industry for a while. And like, he ended up getting the job, and now he has another gig at the same company, and like yeah, that sort of thing of just like that immediate personal network that exists is so like. And managers in this industry, like, they take that and they're like, oh, this guy that, like, my super reliable employee says that this guy's got his vote of confidence. Well, like, that's almost all I need. I barely need depending on the role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I barely need the resume or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, man, let's, because your experience, of course, is shared by so many people throughout the nation all the time.
Yeah.
Restaurants are constantly opening and closing, and I did a little
Yeah, I'm sure you've
digging
experienced it yourself.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yeah, and it's usually read an article talking about like it's usually caused. They described it as death by 1,000 cuts. There's usually a lot of things that you're not even seeing that kind of have led to this moment, which is why it's sometimes difficult. I mean, sometimes I've worked at places where it's pretty obvious that something's about to go down.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'd say with the speculation at my spot, that's the exact term I've used, is death by 1,000 cuts. There's all these little things, like some people have been saying, like the physical space that's in this hotel.
It's probably very expensive to rent out.
Yeah, it's cursed in a certain way. This is like literally the second Mediterranean restaurant that's been in that space.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, another person opens another Mediterranean restaurant there, and it also closes down after a few years. No, but
Right.
There's like, the specific examples, like we have this wood fire oven, and it's developed by this company who, and this is a common theme with a lot of products and a lot of industries I've found out. Like they have a proprietary like venting system, and every part of that oven is like there's certain. Maybe they have a patent for a certain piece of technology on there, but like you can only hit up that company. And of course, with their process of installing these over time, they're still the only company that can maintain it.
Right.
So like if they're like, oh yeah, we're the only ones that can fix it. We're controlling the cost.
Yeah.
So it's obviously going to be expensive.
Right.
Because we want money, because that's how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also going to take us 4 months to fix it, even though I know it broke yesterday.
Yep.
But we had an issue like that. We've been running without our wood fire oven, which was like a core part of our menu. We had to shift everything. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of little things like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's one that they mentioned. It's because your restaurants are so specific in that you're dealing with, while you are run like a regular business, you're a business that has product that can expire, which is just waste and just loss of revenue. Depending on the menu is so very important because you can add certain items on the menu that require expensive equipment, specific equipment, and if it goes out, then it's going to like cause a menu change, and then the repair of that equipment can cause you to lose a lot of revenue. And it's like something you as an employee might not see, but it's a weird part of our business that you have to pay attention to. You're constantly juggling these things, and unless you're like, a huge corporation with 60 locations, if you are just a restaurant group with 10 locations, a specific location can suffer something like that causes them to suddenly be in the red.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and for us, and it's sort of my criticism of, with a big corporation, say something, you had Denny's.
Right.
Denny's can definitely afford to have some places that don't make money, as far as that individual location could totally be in the red.
Right.
But there's still, there's still a profitable company. It's that brand. With a restaurant group, each of those businesses kind of runs on its own.
Right.
And I know an issue, one of the things they did tell us is that, we have investors, we have people, there's people that their money's making money by, them just being wealthy people and being involved in boardroom meetings about profits. They're not industry professionals like you and I. They live a different life, and this decision was definitely made by people with money in a boardroom meeting
Sure.
where even though we're profitable, even though we're in the green, they're like, hey, like this isn't making enough money. I'm not getting the return on my investment. And it would be, well, I have a lot of opinions on, the nature of the corporate economy and like people having that kind of power is sort of inherently corrupt in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I can't be like, find these guys' names and
Right.
say fuck you, right?
Yeah.
It's like they had to make a decision, and they had to do what's right for them. They have to make their business work. They have to make their work week, their quarter. And so that was definitely as good as things have been. I'm like, this is people making a business decision, and my transient, fluid, like, understanding of my industry is like, my skill set applies to where I can do this.
Yeah.
And right now, this place, for one reason or another, is there's no opportunity for me to do that here.
Sure.
So, but it underscores that,
Yeah.
my drive in a career-oriented sense. Like, I want my skills and my knowledge to be applicable anywhere.
Right.
And, so there's that sort of, it's a little bit of forced growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, yeah.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
So,
Of course. Yeah. Well, you got to be. And, there's those fears because it is, we've both, jumping these ships, I think the biggest fear is like, am I going to get on another sinking one? We've both been involved in openings of new restaurants too, which is, according to this article, is like, that's really where you can see some early signs of whether it's going to work out or not. And I've been involved in restaurant openings of new places where I was like, oh, I think things are not going very well here, and I don't know if they're going to, because there's all kinds of like, oh, we're opening this new place, it's going to be so awesome, and then you see so much money being spent on certain things, and you see delay after delay. And then one of the things this article also mentioned was relying on people rather than having systems set up, especially when like a place is trying to replicate for the first or second time. If they don't have specific systems, if everything was reliant on this one chef and this badass manager who's been there for 10 years, it's not easy to replicate people. You have to have specific systems,
right.
Locked in for training new people to be able to replicate your brand. And you can be right off the bat screwed over before you get out of the gate.
Yeah.
So there's so many of those factors, but I think what you also mentioned about these investors that are thinking about totally understand that. It hurts so much more for these mom and pop places when they close, because that's what happens where they get you walk up and you see the sign. And while it does suck for that restaurant owner that they no longer have that restaurant, they might be in debt. For your employees, all of a sudden those people are unable to pay the rent. They're unable to go to the grocery store, and that like is so much more. It can be so much more devastating, and I do have more empathy for the employees in that situation. So I'm thankful. Like you said, I'm thankful that your place was like gave the heads up of like we're going to give you time.
That is uncommon.
It is.
I don't even know if there would be a way to quantify how frequent that is, but everyone in our space, we were like immediately felt like that was a compassionate thing to do.
Absolutely.
Was to give us that time frame.
Yeah.
And that is it's as good as it gets, man.
Totally.
Because you get fired from a place, it's like don't come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or you quit a place. I mean, there's that balance of 2 weeks notice that you give to employer, but employer doesn't have to give to you.
Yeah. Which is
maybe even an entire other conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, they. I love what you said about. I guess you were saying the article.
Yeah.
Mentioned focusing on systems being put in place.
Yeah, rather than just
Yeah,
You know.
than just people. And there we encounter a lot of, similar to what we talked about last time, of, you know, where's that sort of like line? I'm not necessarily asking you this, but like, you know, I have things that I know that I could apply to a system, but like if I'm not like sort of meeting a requirement, if I'm not participating in an established system, I have to rely on just like what I know what to do.
yeah,
And that doesn't necessarily work for every other employee
absolutely
on the floor, or every bartender behind every bar. And it's, yeah, like I could be efficient all day long, as like a skilled professional, but like how can you translate that to working at the next 3 bars with your brand in the next 3 cities?
Absolutely.
And so that is, yeah, one of those many things where that would play poorly for the restaurant as a whole.
Oh, it does. It's, that's something, there was some other, another article, because, we opened this about talking about the transient nature, and people assume that is just, well, that's just how restaurants work. Employees come and go, and it's like a revolving door. This industry has the highest turnover rate in any industry in the United States at like 73%.
Wow.
Which is insane. But that type of turnover is so very costly to the restaurants and businesses. And I think we can both speak to this. Look, man, while we know we can go get another job at another restaurant, we don't necessarily want to. We actually want to stay at the same spot.
Want some stability in a non-stable life, right?
Absolutely. We want to find that good ship and be able to stay on it for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's, especially as lifers, it's like, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And while there is the people that are like, yeah, man, they're actually trying to be a lawyer, or they're trying to be a doctor or a nurse, or this is a temporary job. Holding on to your employees all goes back to a good culture and good management. If those things aren't in place.
Oh, yeah. I'm always, there's this restaurant. It's closed now. It was in Birmingham. It was like my first fine dining experience I had in my life. And I'll just like name drop some stuff here.
Yeah.
Chef and owner Frank Stitt in Birmingham, Alabama. He wrote a book called Southern Table. It's really, really a defining guy for American Southern cuisine. And I would hope that, I don't know, I would hope that, both of us being from the South, we could get a chance to experience some of that together in the future.
Yeah.
This guy's restaurant is called Highlands Bar and Grill. I always speak highly. I'm biased. I'm from Birmingham. The food there's great. This guy is a big part of like a food scene developing there, and like Southern fine dining being in the U.S. being brought into the world and into the market. Anyways, he had this one employee that was with him for the whole 30 years or however long, maybe 35 years. I can't remember the exact number. However long they were open. And a good friend of mine was working there, and this was going on 10 years ago when I was like first started bartending. Yeah. And I went to this restaurant with him. We had the employee discount, and there's a server there. I'm hoping I remember his name correctly, Goran Avery. And I just remember this is one of my first experiences with seeing fine dining, seeing how professional these people can be, how far someone can go in this industry.
Yeah.
And this guy, he had a whole career at this place. He, like anyone who was anybody that, all the people with big money in the state that frequent this place, like this guy, he doesn't just know them, he knows how they like everything.
Yeah.
Like he probably, if they had a certain table, like he probably at the beginning of the shift, they're like, hey, Gordon, you're getting this guy.
Uh-huh.
Movie stars probably, like all sorts of people. And they're like, yeah, you're going to be the guy. As far as we know, that's where, that was a core part of their business. Obviously, he's not the only skilled guy in the world, but like his face, his execution of that system that was set into place. He probably was a very pivotal person in defining those systems with whatever his experience was. Over those years, he became, the person that implemented those systems so that new servers could come in with varying levels of experience. and be like, hey, do it like this guy. Like, dude, this is what we do here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's always going to be that overlap.
Sure.
Right? Because, he had that stable career.
Yeah.
He built his retirement, built his life. I remember having my mind blown because they're like, yeah, he drives a new Mercedes. I mean, this guy, I think when I met him, he was definitely in his 50s or something like that. I mean, this guy had put in a life. That was like the first lifer I saw.
Yeah.
And he had that opportunity. And that's like the type of thing to strive for. I don't know if I would want to be somewhere for 30 years.
Sure, but like you can have,
But you can do that.
you can do that. You can set up that culture. That it is not this mindset of like, oh, you always need to be hiring. I mean, like I found these other numbers where it's like, all right, so for turnover, when you turn over a manager, which again, we keep coming back to, it was so important. Management's everything. Management sets the culture of a restaurant. Turning over a manager on average costs a restaurant $13,867 for a year.
So
And
that's just
one person.
you replace one manager at one point in the year, and it costs shy of $14K.
to just replace them through training and everything else. And for an hourly employee, it's $3,500. So even your server bartender, you're having to rehire somebody. You're having training is costly, and so you're losing money every time that happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it's unavoidable. But if you're not treating your employees well, your turnover is going to be higher, and you're never going to get a guy like that that's going to stick around for 30 years, who is going to make your more money, and that culture trickles to your customers because they love to see the same people when they walk in.
Yeah.
They want that guy, Jacob, that knows my drink when I sit down. It's one of my favorite things as a bartender is like having somebody sit down where they don't even have to say a word because I know exactly what they're about to drink.
You see them walking in the door, and you start making the drink.
Oh, dude,
God.
come on.
Yeah, and they're like, maybe the 10th time, they're like, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm my next few weeks is me breaking the hearts of those people.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Not that they can't find another place to get in Manhattan or whatever, but
Sure. But your regulars are everything.
yeah, I mean that there's a workday joy on Thursdays when Holly and Dan come in, and she's got all the allergies. And we make sure that there's enough of the Albarino for them to drink. There's just that there's a little bit of reflection there on my part, just being like, I've already done it. The past couple days, I've told some people, sympathy tips on the way out. That's a little industry tip for you if you're in a scenario. It's like, if you break your arm, just wear the cast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think I still got this thing on.
Little sliced pinky there from a wine glass.
Exactly, yeah.
Industry hazards.
Industry hazards, baby. Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, it's expensive to...
so you said, I just wanted to reiterate that number real quick. You said around $3,500 on average?
For
that
just
can
an
be a big
hourly
range,
employee.
But so you got a restaurant, let's just say 20 people.
Yeah.
And there are, it's 73%. I'm just combining some numbers kind of off the dome here.
Yeah.
You're replacing 15 people at least once in the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Even if you did 10, even if you had what would be considered, with these numbers, a
So-
low turnover rate.
Yes.
If you replace 10
30
people in a year, that's 30K,
Yeah.
40K,
That's all. Yeah, $35,000.
upwards of $50,000.
Exactly.
And you can't make that in a day.
No.
If you do, you can work at a place that does $50,000 in sales in a day, which is crazy steakhouse numbers and stuff.
Sure.
But that's how much you pull in before you pay for the steaks.
Yeah.
So we're talking.
It's like your profit for a week.
Your profit for a week, maybe more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on the
That
establishment.
just goes out.
Exactly. And it's completely avoidable. It's completely avoidable with good management systems in place. Again, most of us don't want to find another restaurant,
Yeah, we're real people. These are our real jobs. Right?
Yeah, exactly. This is our life. All right. And so, talking about all of these things that can lead to closures, to your employees leaving, which can lead to closures, People, that mentality, seeing restaurant employees as transient. I found this quote that just hit so hard. I feel like it really talks about everything kind of that we're trying to speak to with this podcast. It's from the, sorry, I've got to get the reference. They didn't list the author, but it's the Harvest American Ventures, an article by them. It said, behind the facade of cook, chef, owner, server, bartender, or dishwasher is a person with deep feelings, life challenges, missed opportunities, great aspirations, interesting talent, and a heart that may be strong, broken, or on the mend. And I was like, damn, dude, that speaks to all of us.
Oh, man, deeply. And that's, in referencing my current scenario, there's one particular element. I could probably sit here the entire time and extrapolate on my thoughts and feelings and how this relates to my life. But kind of in the spirit of vulnerability, I sort of, it was a rough day when I found out.
Sure.
I've got a lot of things going on in my personal life right now, and not that everyone does it all the time, but kind of one of my initial knee-jerk reactions, I was like, man, the one stable thing in my life right now. I've got a lot of ups and downs with some other elements of my life, and my income and my job has been really it's been something I've been leaning on. There's something to be said about not putting too much heart and soul into a job sometimes to avoid heartbreak, but that's just where I've been. And there's one particular guest who also happens to be an investor in the company, and I really like the guy. Obviously would never try and slander him, and that's why I've also wanted to avoid painting any sort of opinionated picture about the company as a whole.
Yeah.
Because that's, a decision was made, right? But he definitely is one of the people who was probably at that meeting.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a lot. I see him. He comes in frequently, and I know his preferences. I know his wife. I've met his kids. This is a guy. Yes, he is just a bar guest to me.
Sure.
And this guy's definitely of a wealth and social status where even though he knows my name and everything, he probably, I don't know, he maybe literally never cooks at home. That's just the life he's living. He's an older guy. He's clearly successful. And there was a little bit of heartbreak that I experienced because I was like, man, this guy just dined in like the night before and had a whole to do. A big dinner and everything. And I was like, man, did that guy
Did he know?
was he one of the guys? He probably helped make the decision.
Sure.
Obviously, once again, he's gonna have to separate that. He can't go around being so emotionally attached to every person that works at every company that he has money invested in that he never makes himself money, right? He's got to look after his own.
Right.
But there was just that little part of man, he really came in here and I dealt with him and spoke with him from the position of being comfortable in my life at my job.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the decision had already been made by him maybe months before.
Sure.
Maybe he wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But he, I was like, man, I have some amount of my personal life and, my passion is being put into this person who maybe is unbeknownst to me at the time, pulled the rug out from underneath me. And at least, 10 other people, 12 other people that I really respect and really work well with and had every reason to assume up to this last Friday that our lives are made a bit more comfortable and stable by the job we have.
Sure. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've seen it, man, in real time. That quote, I've seen these people who, some of them, they're just professionals that are just bringing their best self to work, and they're like, dude, they're just bummed.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to them. They're fine. They're gonna be fine. It is just a job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've said it before, and I'll say it probably a million more times on the podcast. I'm all about working to live and not living to work.
Absolutely.
Especially in our industry, right? Unless you're owning the bar and also bartending at the bar and that's your whole life. You're living in the upstairs apartment you built on the bar or whatever. Like, unless that's the life that you're leading, you got to have that separation, that balance in life.
You do, man. You can't identify. That.
It is easy to forget for a lot of people, even me. Like, someone's providing a service, it's not. They're just the person facilitating something for you. They're not necessarily at an entire human with an entire life and feelings.
Exactly. Yeah. They're more than that, And as much as like, and I hope we haven't made it seem like all owners of places that decide to close are just like heartless people, because I can imagine that decision is wrought with a lot of emotions for them as well, with people knowing what the consequences of what their actions are about to have to do. Another example, recently this last year, I worked at Alamo Draft House for many years, and the DFW location, the owner of those locations at the time, Bill DiGaetano, is an incredible dude. I mean, this guy is literally was a Army Ranger sniper during Iraq and Afghanistan. Served in Afghanistan. Dude is a badass, really genuine, kind man. I have seen him do multiple kindnesses for his employees throughout the 10 years that I've known him, and they had to make, after COVID, you're running a theater, which, yes, all restaurants were hit hard, and Alamo being a combination restaurant theater, that happened right after they had recently opened 5 locations. So they overextended themselves because the concept was going so well. And then after COVID, even though the restaurants recovered, movie theaters did not recover in the same way and are still not fully recovered from COVID. People are still choosing to see movies at home. So
the whole structure changed.
The whole structure changed, and he got hit hard, and they had to file for bankruptcy. And all of a sudden, all employees at all 5 locations were left jobless. Now, they immediately attacked him as if it was like he did this on purpose, Like why would he want? I know how much passion this guy had for that cinema, for movies in general. The coolest things that Alamo still does to this day of themed menus were started at his location. He was the first location, the Richardson location, that did themed menu items. I saw how much passion he had for his company, and in the way I read it, I'm probably going to piss off some Alamo family members that I still love. I feel like he did everything he could to not shut down those doors, and he took it to the very last moment, and unfortunately had to.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how hard that was for him, because I know how much he loved a lot of those people that worked there. Yeah. And that's not an easy decision.
Oh, yeah, and I'm certain, with, you also don't want to, I've never been an owner, but probably so many decisions, and how much do I tell about where the company's at,
Yeah.
It could be on the fence, and you're like, well, I don't want to worry people.
Totally.
People are stressed enough trying to just do their job and work their life, and they're getting paychecks still. I don't want to make them also be stressed as to whether or not their job could be on the line.
Yeah.
And what if I can save it? Then
Right.
they're going to be stressed out unnecessarily, and they're going to kind of carry that anxiety with them, regardless if we bounce back.
Totally.
So yeah, and then those things like something like filing for bankruptcy or making that decision. I mean, with my restaurant, I think that it probably the decision maybe was talked about maybe even earlier in the year, but I feel confident that decision. It's not like they knew for months on end.
Right.
You know? I mean, as far as maybe they knew, they didn't know the time frame. Maybe they were trying. Maybe there were talks. Maybe it was 3-step process. Steps 1 and 2 were already set in stone, but they weren't sure about step 3. They're like, well, what if something happens? What if we get, I don't know, another investor joins? There's so many things.
So many factors to that.
Just like the time frame with right now with our staff. There's another restaurant the company owns. Mm-hmm. 1 block over, it's well, what if there's a mass walkout next month. And they're
Sure.
like, guys, please, we're going to close the doors early. We need all of you at the new restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
like we just don't know.
There's so many factors to that.
And things happen so fast like that. And so,
Yeah, and as long as, and frankly, if going through that, I mean, I do think that a lot of the frustration with that Alamo closing, similar to the El Rancho closing, we'll get into that.
so you mentioned the El Rancho. I don't know.
Yeah.
You mentioned it to me earlier today, Adam.
Yeah,
We talked about it
we'll get
here,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, but was the quick nature, because a lot of those employees did have an identity as an Alamo employee, which is something that's very dangerous.
It's a unique space.
It's a unique space, but man, like selling yourself to a company like that and identifying yourself, you put yourself in even more of an emotionally vulnerable space if things don't work out. But they did close quickly, and of course, like because of the bankruptcy, their last paycheck, they had to like go through all kinds of hoops to try to even get that, which puts them in a terrible situation.
Right. Yeah.
Which I get the frustration, and I understand that like is so hard and heartbreaking, and but it's easy to just lash out.
I mean, a big part of this industry compared to, other types of jobs is like you're not necessarily looking at getting a severance.
No.
Depending on how you get paid, that can make filing for unemployment unique because I don't experience this at where I'm at, and I don't think you do either. Like I get a weekly paycheck.
Yeah.
I don't take cash home.
Same.
And part of my life where, part of a lot of people that are serving and bartending, it's like part of the benefit is you have quick cash. You're not necessarily always reporting that as income,
Right.
but you're also like, if it comes to an unemployment scenario, you can't prove that you make that money, but you definitely are using that money to buy your groceries, to pay your rent, to pay your bills, to send your kids to school, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you might have those nights where you're like, well, I didn't report that, so I can't say that's how much to an unemployment office. And
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to never actually go the unemployment route.
Yeah.
Through that's my personal life experience, but that's only a certain percentage, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have less money in a given week. Let's say you got 2 weeks a month. That's a long time. That's a bill cycle. And if it's cut even lower by your income not actually being, you're not being able to prove that income, you're at an even smaller amount.
Yeah.
While you're, and you could be out of work that day.
Yep.
God forbid you're like me and probably a lot of other restaurant employees where you let yourself get in that cycle where my dinner I planned Friday night is going to be funded by my Thursday night tips.
Right. Exactly.
Or my Friday morning
that paycheck
tips.
to paycheck
and
lifestyle.
Then you roll up and you're like, oh shit, I better cancel the reservation. My restaurant's closed.
Yeah.
That's probably all too real to any of those
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because
servers out there, bartenders listening out there. Get your shit together and start budgeting.
Yeah. I need to do that.
Oh God, yeah. I need to do that. Let's do it together.
Absolutely, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. But it is. Yeah. So it's easy to lash out, and yeah, there are. I mean, look, there are instances. Fuck it. Let's bring it up.
Yeah.
I worked at this place, El Rancho.
Yeah, I know you've also had an experience, and I'd want to hear about your experience especially compared to mine, and how this place was in Colorado. I think part of when we met, there was a period of time where I maybe went to this restaurant you were working at because it was in Evergreen, Colorado, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a famous restaurant in Evergreen.
Yeah, right up the mountains.
Yeah, right over there.
If you're ever visiting Colorado, check out Evergreen.
Do
a
it.
A lot of those little hikes where you can, walk for half a mile and get a big payout.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
Just outside of Denver.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful town. And El Rancho is it is a historic place, but it's also, you want to talk about a cursed space. The amount of owners that this space has gone through
So is it
over the years is insane.
always been called El Rancho? Is that like the...
Yeah, and it
like
used to be...
Have they been inheriting the name over and over? Or is it, okay.
They have. They used to be right off of I-70 where you could see the building as you were driving by. Mm-hmm. But then when they improved the I-70, they moved it over to where you can't see it.
Right, because they shifted the interstate.
They shifted the
way
interstate.
It kind of goes, there's like a bridge or something, right?
Exactly. So it's gone through ownership after ownership. And when I got on, it was right after COVID. And it had been a brewery restaurant. There was a new owner that came in and brought a very talented chef from Ocean Prime. Now, I mean, this is also a warning to listeners. Like, man, look, if you walk into a place and you can sense that ship is going down, get the fuck off of it. Like, get off of it. Like, start looking for a new position.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because there's writing on the wall some places.
Oh
you know?
yeah, I mean that's.
You have to look out for yourself. You
Yeah,
have
when
to
you
protect
interview
yourself.
a place.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, you guys said you're ready to hire me right now. Fucking why?
Dude, that was so. This was the exact. I wanted to get back into the restaurant industry. I saw that they were hiring for a bartender. I applied. They called me the next day. They said, "When can you come in and interview?" I said, "Tomorrow." And then I tested positive for COVID, and I called them and I was like, "Hey man, I tested positive for COVID. I'm going to have to push back the interview."
Yeah.
And then they called me the next day and said, "Hey, can you start training tomorrow?" And I said, "I have COVID. I told you that yesterday. It's going to be 2 weeks before I can." And then getting in during the training, the manager it was 3:00 in the afternoon, and the manager was already like pretty toasted, drinking. And the person that they had me train with didn't train me at all, left early and had me close the entire bar, which I was still considered. So I already saw bad management, but the chef was fucking brilliant, and his dishes were incredible. He was doing like elk chili and like rattlesnake sausage made in house.
I had that elk chili. It was
Fire, man. The steaks were incredible.
But I can imagine from your perspective at the time, it's like, especially when you really need the gig, you're like, oh man, I could be in here and I could kind of be the guy.
I could be.
Kind of that people versus system. It's like, well, this system isn't here, but I know how to make something run.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, if I can have a positive effect, I could be looking at making my own gig.
Right.
setup.
Right.
But there's more to that.
But
more,
there's
more
more
to
to that.
business than you being a,
Yeah.
5-star bartender.
Right. Well, and I did see how, like, I could be, like, I look at these drink recipes, I can improve all these.
Mm-hmm.
These are all incorrect. The owner,
I can fix him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Both the
can fix
owners.
her.
Exactly. Both owners immediately liked me a lot. But again, seeing those writings on the wall of, like, this management is all over the place. There's no systems in place, in front of house at least. As it continued, I knew I had to get out. So I applied for a place, gave them my 2 weeks, but I would still go back and frequent there. The food was still great. They'd opened up the downstairs into this cool bar. Unfortunately, they had overextended themselves. There was a rift between the two owners, and the one owner left, and the owner that was left behind, all of a sudden, they seemed like they were humming, and it was like April 26th, their employees came in of 2022. They came in expecting their paychecks, and he couldn't pay payroll. And according to their GM, she estimates there was $100,000 worth of tips that were tips and wages that were owed that were not paid that day, which is heavy, which caused a walkout, which caused them to call the cops. And it was a whole mess. In those instances, like, look, man, like you're saying, you're not blaming the company. We're even talking about, like, the emotional vulnerability, but to do something like that is cold-hearted, and it does justifiably cause those employees to have more than beef. They literally have lawsuits against this guy, as they should. So, yeah, man, it's all over the board. It's this transient nature. It's the transient of opening and closing restaurants, and us as employees having that freedom to move, but also the frustration of what happens when I have to find a new gig is complicated.
I had a thought and I lost it immediately. Went out into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's so between the El Rancho conspiracy and all the other sort of types of closings, I feel like it's very much so indicative of some of the other things we've talked about. How the industry itself, not just us, as bartenders, having that sort of fluid at one place then another, this job that's this good, this one that's fun but doesn't pay well, like all those sort of like ups and downs and unique experiences. It's also true for owners.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's different people that, you know, have different skill sets, people getting in over their head, people that are so dialed that, you know, like with my company, you know, they're so dialed that like just profiting isn't enough.
Right.
You know, there and everything in between. You know, places where, you know, maybe there's I've like been at bars and stuff where like there's no way this place makes money, but like the owner has like other successful businesses and he just likes having the bar.
Right.
You know, there's all these sort of variations in how this business goes.
Yeah.
And, you know, I imagine that could be true with other industries as well. But I think, you know, with this one, there's all these little things that are so, you know, temporary, and you know, everything's kind of temporary, or everything is temporary in life. But having that sort of, I mean, that's what's beautiful about it. It's how it reflects the communities these places are in. It reflects the spirit of the individuals in these various places, even city to city, even, you know, Westminster, Aurora, Evergreen compared to Denver. And it's, you know, this constant moving, shifting, and growing thing. And yeah, I mean, it's multifaceted, and there's no way we could cover the full breadth of it in a conversation.
No.
But I think that's what's beautiful here is, you know, I guess it's one part beautiful and one part really intimidating.
Right.
You know, for myself, you, anyone listening that's in the industry, it can be a little overwhelming because you're like, you know, how do I, you know, I'm in the industry. I want to establish myself. I want to have that stability that 35-year vet of the Highlands Bar and Grill in Birmingham, Alabama had until they closed the doors right at his retirement age.
Right.
Like, you want to be able to build that, even though, you know, you found yourself in.
Yeah.
So you're a bartender now. Like, how do you, like, you know, approach that and develop that life, that stable life that a lot of people want, or that maybe, you know, you're going to want. You know, for me, I know that right now I'm very fluid. I'm at a point in my life where, you know, I'm single, I'm traveling, I'm like, you know, it really works for me to have moving and shifting, you know, work life.
Sure.
Because that just helps me continue the moving and shifting nature of my my week to week, month to month that I already operate on. But 10, 15, 20 years from now, when I'm wanting to like actually be established, like, how do I find that? And you know, you do have to believe in it. You do have to take on some of that heart and soul. You got to let that, if there is an established system at a place, you do have to take a chance sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a chance on the place I've been at. You know, they were just opening, and it worked out super well for 2 years. In the middle of that, actually, I quit and opened another restaurant, and they let me go after the first week of service.
Right.
I literally didn't know why.
Yeah.
I think that place is actually, like, everyone that opened other than the owners has actually been, like, fired or quit or otherwise.
Bad sign.
Yeah.
It's a really bad sign.
They had great food and everything. And, you know, I think having discernment, that's probably something that we could, we've got another topic that we're going to talk about, I think, kind of, you know, when it comes to like skills and everything.
Right.
Maybe one of the upcoming episodes. Stay tuned.
Yeah, but looking for those signs and being aware, you do, you know, because there's that combination. You got to take care of yourself. You have to look out for yourself. You do have to look for those signs, but yeah, there are times, there are moments where it is like, yeah, man, pulling that trigger, taking a chance. You can land in a really beautiful spot that is gonna like take care of you, and you'll take care of them. You'll be passionate about it. It's a difficult, and you know, we barely touched on even the effect that like sometimes these closures have on the community. Like we get a chance to live in these moments where we are a part of the community and we're making moments for people, and it hurts people when these people outside of the restaurants, the regulars, the guests, that like, man, that's where I asked my wife to marry me, or this is the first, I had my birthday there, or I was having such a shitty day, and then I rolled up, and then Jacob was bartending for me, and we dove into this like deep conversation that just pulled me out of this darkness that I was feeling that day. There's so many people that it touches, and I think all we can do is like stay in the moment, be aware, take care of yourself, and realize you're a part of something special, and even if it's a restaurant that's about to close.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, because we're just talking about being a person, getting to be, a human being inside of a place that also is just your workspace. And there's a lot of ways you can work and just be a robot. I've worked in a warehouse before where I was literally just a part of the machine. I may as well have just been a piece of equipment.
Right.
Not that I couldn't make friends there and things, but it's so much the nature of the job itself. And, once again, very, very thankful for the opportunity to, live the life that I'm living right now. And, it's a catalyst for us being able to sit here and have these conversations. I'm thankful for anyone that's listening.
Yeah.
Let me share a little bit of my sadness, a little bit of my experience with you. I'm even thankful to be here so that we can have this journey together. Me, you, Ben here, anyone who's having their ears tickled right
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
And, we're just taking it one step at a time, both here on our sweet little podcast here and in our day-to-day lives.
That's right.
And we really thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can't wait for next time. And man, this is Who the Fuck Closed Last Night, man.
Yeah.
This is Jacob. You're gonna catch him you're gonna catch him at another restaurant and bar soon. We'll let you know which one.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll
Maybe that'll
find
be a
out.
longer-term gig.
Yeah.
Don't. By the time we release this, Keeney's will be closed.
Keeney's will be no
Do
more.
not go to Keeney's in Denver.
Yeah. The first 2 episodes you listened to.
We're revealing ourselves.
Yeah.
That we're not recording this 1 hour before you hear it.
That's right.
As it turns out. That may come as a surprise to you.
Yeah. But guys, thanks for coming, man. Big shout out to Ben again. We love this guy. He's been working hard on these videos and the audio and everything. We just look forward to doing more of these, man.
Yeah. See you at the next opening.
Fuck Chick-fil-A.
Fuck Chick-fil-A.
Fuck their chicken.
Dude, we'll just spend.
Came after the clock.
We'll